Ugly dribble, puts it up. Oh, this is extraordinary. Have you ever seen anything like it?
For the longest time, I didn't like Steph Curry. There, I said it. Living in the Bay Area over the last 12 years will do that to you if you aren't a Warriors fan and you had to deal with the arrogance of that whole fan base, most of which started watching basketball around 2014. While I recognize Steph's greatness and the value he brought to the court, and of course ultimately changing the way the game of basketball is played, I viewed Steph, because of how much Warrior fans hyped him up, to not really be as good as his fans claimed him to be. But over the years, now watching basketball more closely than I ever have, and I've come to appreciate his game so much more, and just how ridiculous he is with his insane scoring prowess, and how much focus and attention defenses are required to give him just to be able to keep up. I saw this shot live, and I can honestly say it's one of the greatest shots I've seen in terms of the sheer difficulty and weight and magnitude of said shot. It wasn't a game winner, it wasn't a go-ahead shot, and it wasn't a Game 7 of the NBA Finals, but given Steph had been on a heater leading up to this dagger and putting France away in the Olympics for his first gold medal and hitting a shot that almost seemed like a prayer while being double-teamed was next level. He's the greatest shooter of all time, and we're all witnessing greatness right before our eyes that may not be around much longer. For the longest time, I didn't appreciate that greatness, and I wish I could go back and tell my younger self to enjoy this while it lasts. The same can be said for guys like Lebron James and Kevin Durant, who were absolutely incredible in the Olympics in bringing home the gold. And like Steph, two players who may not be around playing the game at a high level for much longer. Certainly, none of them will be on the team for the US in 2028, as all of them will be in their 40s by then, all likely retired from the game of basketball. And while the torch will be handed off to the next generation, some of whom we saw on Team USA like Anthony Edwards and Tyrese Halliburton, there will never be another LeBron, Steph, or Kevin Durant. All-time greats that will be remembered in history. But what has been getting lost in all of this, and the US winning the gold, is the focus among fans and even the media about how the US, simply put, is no longer leaps and bounds ahead of the competition. No longer are the days of the famous Dream Team of '92 where the US destroyed their opponent by 50+ points on a nightly basis, where it was almost a joke to even consider this to be Olympic level competition. The US has lost its dominance in the game of basketball even after bringing out their A-team after many years of inserting role players in the Olympics and World Cup games. But to that I reply, so what? Basketball has become more and more of a global sport with every passing year, with more international players entering the NBA and more of said international players becoming stars in the league. This is something that should be celebrated, not criticized. A game that we all love, growing in popularity in all parts of the world, leading to more talent and higher quality basketball at the professional level. We should be so lucky to be fans and witnessing this era of basketball and not trying to find ways to pick it apart, like I did with Steph Curry for so many years. So let's talk about the Olympics a bit further and what it means for the future of basketball. As always, if you're new to the channel and you like this type of content, then be sure to subscribe to help the channel grow, and in return I'll be providing more NBA content like this. Now, when the US failed to even medal in the FIBA World Cup games last summer, finishing 4th and even losing to Canada in the 3rd place game, Team USA said, alright, enough is enough. We need to be sending our best and biggest superstars. Sending guys like Cam Johnson, Bobby Portis, and Walker Kessler wasn't cutting it and representing the biggest basketball country in the world. And so, like Team USA did in '92 with the Dream Team and the Redeem Team in '08 after the US failed to win gold medals in the Olympics in 1988 and 2004, they assembled what most were calling the greatest team ever put together since the 1992 Dream Team that featured the likes of Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird. And right away, you heard the comparisons of which team would win if they faced off today, and would we, like in 1992, see a level of dominance from the US that made the Olympic Games boring for basketball fans. Turns out, though, that wasn't close to being the case, especially after we saw South Sudan nearly knock off Team USA in an exhibition game leading up to the Olympics. The US would also struggle to finish off Serbia in the semifinal, needing a big comeback in the second half just to get themselves to the gold medal game. Even the final game against France was no walk in the park either, where the game ultimately came down to the end before Steph put it away on that historic three. And while all this is going on, you hear this narrative going around that the rest of the world has caught up to the US. Team USA's dominance again is no more, and it's only a matter of time before they become second best or fall even further than that. I even saw some saying that the '92 Dream Team would eat this team alive and blow them out easily. A few things to note though, when we're making these kind of claims and comparing Team USA basketball not only to the rest of the world, but also comparing this roster to that of the prior US teams is that first and foremost, the Dream Team of '92, while they are arguably the greatest team ever assembled, especially for that time period in basketball where we had never before seen the best of the best in professional basketball represent the US, something that had historically been comprised of college athletes and non-pros. And as historic and legendary as players like Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone, Scottie Pippen, etc., comparing the level of competition to that Dream Team faced to what the current Team USA saw is night and day. Just go back and look at some of the footage at the level of talent you saw going up against the Dream Team in 1992. Inferior competition that made every game look like it was varsity against the 8th grade B team. Had LeBron, Steph, and co. gone up against that, you better believe they would have won by 50 plus points in every game. And had the '92 Dream Team faced off against some of the greatest international players in the world today, like that of Nikola Jokic, Victor Wembanyama, or Giannis, yeah, they would have had to put in more effort and the games would have been much more respectable. It's why comparing eras of basketball, no matter how you look at it, is never an apt comparison. The game and the talent has just changed too much over the past 3 decades. Now, as far as the competition level around the globe having gone up exponentially in the past 10 plus years, you would be correct. In fact, depending on who you ask, you could argue the best 3 players in the league are all international players in Jokic, Doncic, and Giannis. You add an SGA in there as well, and you have 4 top players in the NBA from another country. And with guys like LeBron, Kevin Durant, Steph soon setting off into retirement in the next few years, what does that mean for the future of USA basketball going forward? But as I said before, who cares? The US will still always be a powerhouse with the young upcoming talent they have, and with the growing popularity of the sport around the world, you'll see even more rise in the talent internationally, making international competition like the Olympics or the World Cup that much more competitive. I don't know about you guys, but that doesn't really sound like a problem or a crisis at hand for American basketball, a sport that was invented in the US by a Canadian man. To me, it makes the game more entertaining and thrilling to watch. While we all like to talk about the legendary Dream Team as the god team of basketball, let's be real, watching that team was pretty boring. A game or sport is only as good as its level of competition from its opponent. And with the increasing level of competition throughout the world, we're going to see even more fun and exciting basketball for years to come. Witness the greatness that's in front of you while it's here. Don't be like me and hate on it like I did with Steph Curry. Enjoy the current state of the game, and hopefully it'll get even better from here on out. Let me know what you guys thought of the Olympic Games in the comments. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.